Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 301.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you're new here, please say hi in the comments.
Now, here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and X.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we're home, you'll be alerted to it. I sound hoarse, but this is a happy horsey. Yep. This is the result of an entire week of getting to visit with more than 60 of our keto family.
Yeah, we had an amazing cruise. We have a couple videos coming out about it. I'm going to be editing videos today and tomorrow. We have a video of getting ready for the cruise. We have a video from the cruise. Some exciting announcements coming up later on the stream. Just amazing. We got home Saturday, immediately came up here to Arcadia to see all of our animals who were super happy to see us.
They were happy.
And then yesterday, at the last minute, like late Saturday night, JP and Michelle texted us and said they were going to Disney Springs. So we jumped back in the car yesterday and drove 2 hours up to Orlando to hang out with them and Peyton. So great week ending with a great night.
That was such a fun activity, and that's really what we look for nowadays. It used to be when the holidays came, I was only looking forward to the food, but I thought that that was in particular a really cool thing and something that, you know, you could do as a family on your own, which is basically a scavenger hunt. Disney and Disney Springs has all these different Christmas trees, and they provide you with stickers, and then you put a sticker on top of every location on the map where you come across a Christmas tree. And then if you fill out the whole map, then you get to get a special ornament. And it was really fun to work as a family toward that ornament.
Yep. So today's Keto Beyond the Couch is sponsored by Keto Brainz.
Keto Brainz.
So if you don't know what Keto Brainz is like basically a coffee creamer. It's got a bunch of nootropics, MCT oil in it. We absolutely love it. And they are doing an exclusive Two Crazy Ketos deal. If you use the link down below in the description, as well as the coupon code, which I do not remember what it is. It's like Keto Holiday, Crazy Holiday, whatever.
Holiday.
It's down below. You're going to get 20% off, and the first 20 orders over $49.99 also get a free mug, and the mug is kind of cool. This is what it looks like.
So I love the fact that normally, like pre-keto, you would be white knuckling the holidays. Like, here I have my plans, but I am holding on and gripping with all my might because I'm not sure that I'm going to be successful, that I'm going to have the focus that I need. As you guys know, Keto Brainz is my favorite creamer. It is in every single first cup of coffee for my morning. And so I think it's cool that their coffee mug allows you to brass knuckles the holiday season.
So we really appreciate Keto Brainz for supporting Two Crazy Ketos, and we appreciate you guys for supporting the sponsors who support Two Crazy Ketos. So I wanted to say, if you are brand new to our channel, this is Keto Beyond the Couch. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's all about our subscribers. Because we've been gone for a week, we have a lot of posts. So we're going to get through them as quickly as we can. So we don't usually address the live stream, the chat, too much till like the last 10 or 15 minutes. So if you have a question or anything like that, go ahead and hold off till the last 10 or 15 minutes of the stream, or you can use the super chat function down below, because what that does is it highlights our screen and we can answer your question right away. We're going to start right off with our very first post from Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
I saw this when I was on the stream, and I was like, it's perfect.
You mean the cruise?
On the cruise. A disco ball is hundreds of pieces of broken glass put together to make a magical ball of light. You aren't broken. You're a disco ball.
I totally resonate with that. Like, that makes so much sense to me. I love disco balls, by the way. And I love that thought that, yeah, we have had some times of brokenness. You feel kind of shattered. You've had plans that haven't gone through, but don't be down on yourself. Think of yourself not as just broken forever, but that, yes, you're a disco ball. I like that thought.
Yep. Next one we have is from Teresa.
Hey, Teresa Ann.
Said, for those of you that are frustrated by the scale not moving, these pictures were taken 10 years apart. Same weight. Only difference is I'm 10 years older and I eat a diet that removes inflammation. I no longer eat crazy meals. At that time, I was eating a name brand delivery service meal for weight loss that used to of soy.
They used a ton of soy.
Now I eat nutrient-dense food like New York strips and bacon and eggs. The scale is a lie and the pictures don't lie. Take pictures. I spent years hiding from a camera and look at these pictures.
Wow. Teresa was on our cruise and was just, first of all, it was such a blessing getting to know Teresa more. Thank you so much, Teresa, for being on the cruise and for sharing these. And this came up in discussion because she was like, look at inflammation. Like, I absolutely have a photograph of inflammation because this is not a weight thing. This is completely just what happens when you stop eating carbohydrates and start focusing on a keto friendly way of eating, because what a difference it makes. And first of all, that's 10 years ago, the left side. And I feel like she immediately looks 10 years in addition younger. So I'm like, you got a 20% year bonus just from changing the food you're eating.
Timeless Jewel by Deborah, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Said thank you for always being a beacon of hope and joy to the community.
Wow,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Next one we have is from Gaines Richardson.
Hey Gaines, 2 years ago today, I started keto. I have lost 130 pounds and have been able to re-engage in many activities that I could no longer participate in because of severe fatigue, shortness of breath, and knee pain. I feel that I have my life and health back, all from changing what I eat. If you're struggling or just getting started, know that as a hike is made up of many steps, the journey to regain your health consists of thousands of decisions of consuming the food that folks around us do or eating what is best for you. Every time you make the right choice, you are a little bit closer to your destination. Whatever is at the end of your hike, commit to walking the path you have set for yourself. Enjoy the journey. Some of the sights I've experienced include no more acid reflux, better sleep, lower blood pressure, and more room in airplane seats, to just name a few. When I started, I focused on the great view at the top of the mountain, but have learned to appreciate all the sights along the way. Wow. Oh, Gaines, that is so incredible, the success that you have had. And really, I think the best success is that new perspective that you have. When we were on the cruise, we were blessed to have gotten a balcony view. And certainly we were looking forward to, as Gaines is sort of pointing to, the end result, the port of call that we were headed to. But you know what? There was beauty every single time we looked out of our window, all along the way to that final destination. So thank you for reminding us of that.
Next one we have is from Yvette.
Hey, Yvette.
I reached my goal weight today, actually a little bit under. It has been a long time coming, and I'm going to keep going.
Yay! Great job, Yvette. I'm so happy for you.
Next one we have is from Julie.
Julie in the Pines.
Julie said, this community is so important. You guys are so amazing for helping us feel close to each other. I have lost 87 pounds with keto in the past 2 years. Without our community, I don't know if I would have been able to do this. I absolutely love you guys. Julie,
we love you too. And I got to say, my very favorite part of the cruise, and I shared this with everybody when it was, go home day. That was such a sad day. But truly, my most wonderful time on the cruise was watching you guys interact with one another, like just seeing friendships develop, be born. It's like I'm there at the birth of this friendship, and I thought that was so cool.
It's funny because you were talking about the whole idea of the balcony view and the portico, and for me, the most exciting things that I saw on the 2KK cruise had nothing to do with portico, and honestly, I couldn't care less about even getting off the ship.
Right.
It was seeing the community develop. And on the very last night of the cruise, it was so interesting. People were kind of all over the place. And on Royal Caribbean, they have a chat within their app that even if you don't buy their Wi-Fi, we can all participate in.
Right.
And you would see people putting in things in that. And we're going to have a video about this later. But on the very last night, I said, is anybody going to karaoke? Because we have a couple of karaoke singers in our group. And then I saw Andy and Susan posted they were at Sorrento's having pizza. So I went up there and I started sitting with them, and then other people started sitting with them. And within 20 minutes, we had like 26 of us literally take over Sorrento's. We grabbed every table, just kept putting them together. I think we ate like 18 pies between the group.
Toppings.
And it was, just the toppings. We're not eating the crust. But it was just an amazing sight to see this group. And then we all went over to celebrate everybody singing and, karaoke. So to me, that was the best sight, was seeing the community develop.
Well, and that was like breakfast too. It was like breakfast, and our times together were always all about dragging another table over to the table that began and adding chairs. New table, more chairs. More table, more chairs. And it was the most beautiful sight. And as we took our, picture together as like a group, I mean, I couldn't stop squalling because it was just the cascade of all of the beautiful people that are coming together and making the decision to take a vacation together.
Okay, next one we have is from Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie.
Bonnie said, this is maybe a lame gift, but my husband wants to give our in-laws some of my homemade unstuffed pepper soup and pork stew that I have canned. They try to eat ketovore and both fit that ish, but I want to at least try to make a basket. Can you think of shelf-stable snacks that I could add? They don't eat nuts. Or another way to make it more of a gift. I'll probably add a kitchen towel, considered soup bowls, but they have everything. So here's what I would put into a gift basket. If I'm making somebody a gift basket for keto for Christmas, aside from the fact that you can always get people like subscription boxes for Keto Chow or a Keto Crate subscription box. But if I was putting together a gift basket, which I think is the best thing you can do, putting in your canned soups and stews that you have made.
So nice.
Get a meter. Like, in fact, Meter's having some really good holiday sales. There's a link down below, including if you buy the new Meter Pro Duo, you get another meter for free. So you can put a meter in there.
Beef jerky.
Beef jerky. You can put in pork rinds, carnivore bars, carnivore brick, keto brick, Redmond salt.
Well, and all of their seasonings, because they have gift packs this time of year where you can get a whole bunch of different ones, like their seasoned salt and their garlic pepper and that sort of thing. And that makes a really pretty gift.
Yeah, I mean, even like yesterday when we went up to Orlando, I knew we were going to see Peyton, and Peyton's two favorite foods / snacks when she is with us is keto brick and carnivore bars.
Yeah.
And so I brought her one of my precious apple pie carnivore bars. And she was sucking it down. Like, she was like, this is delicious. And then you would try to give her something that would maybe be sweeter. And she's like, nope, I want the carnivore bar.
Yeah.
And so those kind of things are always great. And you know that they're good quality ingredients.
Now, I do know that the apple pie carnivore bar is limited edition. And
I don't even know if there's any left.
Well, right now it's seasonal, because I was just talking to them. So make sure if you're interested in getting some of the carnivore bar that you go ahead and place your order, especially for the apple pie one. Right now, they are out of just the salted. So they've got like a zesty garlic. If you are interested in getting, more plain, if you're like Joe and I, and you don't mind having something with a touch of honey, the apple pie, the barbecue, and the I think there is it's just called honey.
Yeah.
It is one.
And there's an unsalted one. So there's a link down below for that. And if you use the code 2crazyketos, you get 10% off. And if you go back and watch our apple pie one, yes, it does have apples and honey in it. But if you're somebody who occasionally indulges in like a Quest cup or something like that, I personally think you are better off having like a carnivore bar that has unfiltered natural honey, only because, yes, it's like 10 or 12 carbs, but we believe in counting total carbs. And this is 3 whole ingredients over a bunch of what I say made up fibers like soluble corn fibers and things like that.
That's right.
Next one we have is from Angie.
Hey, Angie.
What is it between Keto Chow Irish Cream and Keto Chow Vanilla Cream? Well, aside from the fact that we created Irish Cream, the Keto Chow Vanilla Cream is literally just a vanilla. Yeah. So they've eliminated the regular vanilla. I think it's a better tasting vanilla. Irish Cream has coffee in it. Right. It is an Irish cream type of coffee. You know, it doesn't taste like Bailey's Irish Cream. It tastes like an Irish coffee. Yeah. But it's not an overpowering coffee flavor, and it's really, really good.
It's very delicious, and I find it to be really nice for the holidays. As much as I enjoy things like eggnog, and I do like eggnog Keto Chow for the holidays, that makes it really special. Also, the gingerbread, I like it gingerbread for the holidays, but I also like, you know, Irish cream for that like Christmas Eve coffee. And that's something that we've done in the past. And we'll bring back once we get our house finished, is when all the kids get together and it used to be cocoa, but now all the kids like coffee. Yeah. And so it's like coffee for Christmas.
Christine said, don't forget to subscribe, push the like button and share. Yes. Thank you very much. People do ask us how you can support us. That is the #1 way. Share our videos, like, subscribe them. Use our links down below. It doesn't cost you anything. Or you could buy us a cup of coffee using the link down below.
We'll put Irish cream in it.
Next one is from Mel.
Hey, Mel.
Mel said, listening to Michaela Peterson's most recent podcast with her dad, the one and only Jordan Peterson, and just heard this quote. You literally cannot get a rat addicted to cocaine if he lives in a rat society.
Wow.
He has better things to do. But if he's in a cage and you give him access to cocaine, it's like bar press. No sex, no food, no drugs, no water, just cocaine.
Wow.
Well, why? Because he's bored to death. He's got no rat adventure. You want to get over sugar addiction? Get into community.
Mel, mic drop on that one. That was really excellent. You know, we talked a lot about that across the cruise because there were so many things to do, many of which came from ideas of people on the cruise who hosted special events like decorating rubber duckies and bingo and D&D tournaments and like drawing and all kinds of a birthday party, limbo competition. There was so many activities to participate in. Honestly, we were just making sure that we set our clocks for main dining, not so that we could just get to the food at main dining, but just so we could get around the table to be able to talk to one another about all the fun things we did in a day.
And we learned a lot of things. I mean, this was our 7th cruise in about a year and a half. And we have been doing keto the entire time. Every time we go, we vlog it, show you what we're eating. I mean, and if you come on our cruises, you don't have to be keto. People bring family members, non-keto friends and family and everything else. But one of the things that was really cool was just sitting at a table. And what we learned was some of the tables, because we all sit together, came up with these ideas and talked to the waiters. And so like one of the tables, they asked the waiter, every time we sit down for dinner, can there be a cheese plate in front of every person as our appetizer? And then when we leave, can you bring everybody a to-go cheese plate?
It was incredible. And we actually spotlighted that, you know, in our go home day, last kind of family meeting before, you know, it was the last evening, and we gave out different prizes. And there were so many great ideas from every table. One table as a group decided, hey, when we sit down in the evenings, we want to have a big bowl of like hamburger with some tomato sauce on it. Another one was like, hey, make sure everybody has little containers of sour cream, or they have guacamole as a, you know, family style. It was just so interesting, the creativity that every single table brought to the experience.
Next one we have is from Robin.
Hey, Robin.
I went ziplining. She was on the cruise for the first time ever today. It was awesome. And the guys were fabulous. They had to work a little extra with me due to a weaker leg strength, but I had a blast. And that's what we talk about when we get to living life beyond a couch.
I was so proud of Robin. And I get excited when I see people decide, I'm going to try something new for the first time. There were some people who did a 5K on the cruise for the very first time and were so excited that they were able to do it, that they did it 5 days in a row.
That was awesome. Let's take a quick fade to black and come back with some more comments.
I got to tell you, I was missing everybody on Sunday morning, and I was also missing the fact that my coffee didn't just magically appear. I had to go make it myself like a peasant.
Next one we have is from Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Tom said, how about a Rachel 21st birthday cruise?
God bless you, Tom. I want you to know that I love you, young man, and I appreciate that thought a lot.
Next one is from Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
Carrie said, I need a link for the cruise for next December. I cannot find it. I want to sign up for it. Sending love to you both. So it will be up on our website, but it is down below in the description. But here is our exciting announcement.
Very exciting.
So really quickly, next year, December 4th through the 8th, we're having the 2KK birthday cruise. Originally, that cruise was just Rachel and I. Right. It was just us. We were going to go celebrate my 55th birthday. And I said to Rachel, listen, I want to celebrate my 55th birthday with our family.
That's right.
With our friends. And honestly, outside of keto, we have no friends. You guys are our friends, and the friendships that we have developed since starting this channel has been amazing. It's been able us to experience community because we never knew how to do community. It's like, hey, I need friends, or I want to have a party, but nobody invites me to a party. So you know what? I'm just going to throw my own party.
Right.
And it has been amazing. So I asked her, can we open up my birthday cruise and make it a 2KK cruise?
And I said, absolutely not.
So it was December 4th to the 8th. But we understand that a lot of people fly in. I mean, we are blessed that we live in Florida with 6 cruise ports, 3 of which are major cruise ports, okay, being Orlando, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale. And so we don't have to fly to go to cruises out of Florida, which especially during the winter is one of the best places. I mean, other than Galveston, but Galveston, although it's an amazing port, can be a pain because it's so far away from the airport and it could be expensive. And so I understand that a lot of people want a longer cruise because they're like, if I'm going to fly in,
make it worth it.
I want to make it worth it. But other people like that are brand new cruisers are afraid to go on more than a 4-night cruise. Maybe they've never been on a cruise. And historically,
how do we help both?
New cruisers don't want to go on a 7-night cruise because they don't know if they're going to like cruising, which is one of the reasons Royal Caribbean launched Utopia of the Seas, which is a mega ship, which normally does long cruises first. They launched their mega ship, Utopia of the Seas, for only 3 and 4 night sailings to start with. So in talking to Marilyn and Albert, amazing people, they were like, well, we are one of those people, so we would like to book a cruise afterwards and possibly before, so we could make the flight to Florida worth it. And so I started thinking about it. And so here is our special announcement. Next December, we are doing the 2KK, where is it? Back-to-back cruise.
That's right.
So it's 2 cruises, December 4th through the 8th and December 8th through the 13th. Now, here is the thing about that. You can go on one. You can go on the first one, the 4-night. You can go on the second one, the 5-night, or you can join us on a back-to-back cruise because the second one is on the same ship as the first one. We will literally get off on December 8th. We get back to port in Miami, and that one goes to Labadee. So 3 sea days. We're going to have we're going to have rooms every day for people to play games and everything else, eat together. We switch tables every night so we can sit with everybody. And then if you're doing the second one as well, you leave your bags on the ship If you book early enough, we can even get you into the same cabin, depending on your cabin category you choose, where you don't even have to pack everything up. But you leave your stuff, you pack everything up, you leave it on the ship. The cabin steward will move it to your new cabin. You get off the ship, let customs scan your face. You got off the ship, you turn right around, you get back on the ship. You're one of the first people to get back on. Your stuff is already in your cabin, and you can enjoy another 5 days. So you have an option of 4 nights on the cruise, 5 nights, or a total of 9 nights. And the second cruise goes to a different destination. It's going to Grand Cayman and then Cozumel.
I think that this is definitely a testimony that we just have such a great time on these 2KK getaway cruises. That was only the second one we've ever done. So this is going to be the third one that we do as a family. And you see what's happening. We've got more people coming, and we want to stay longer because it really is such a beautiful, beautiful time. And I wasn't sure if, after this cruise, people would be like, all right, I got to get out of here. But
nobody wanted to leave.
But none of us wanted to leave because we just had such a fantastic time together, and we would love for you to join us. Now, I will say that we are never going to have a 2KK cruise that's got more than 100 total people.
Right.
So we're keeping it small.
This is about community. So there's links down below. I will say this. The second leg of the cruise, we will process people who have already booked on the 2KK getaway for the first leg next year, as well as anybody who was just on this one. We're going to process those first, especially if you're doing both, because we want to try to get you in the same cabin if possible.
May not be possible.
The first one is extremely cheap. The second one is a little bit more, but right after I booked it, the prices went up by about $1,000. To give you an idea, if you were to book an ocean view balcony and do them both, the total price would be somewhere around $2,600 for all 9 nights. So just letting you guys know, we are super excited about it. When we do the cruise, we're going to have a little video to explain it a little bit more, people. Aside from eating together and all the games and activities, Rachel and I personally arrange with Royal Caribbean to take a giant group photo. Like, we do it on the stairs, we pay for it, and then we distribute it to everybody. So you have not somebody's selfie photo, but a legitimate photo from Royal Caribbean. Okay, next one we have is from Carmen.
Hey, Carmen, I hope that everyone is doing well. I come on here sporadically and read posts, but I had forgotten how to post. I finally remembered. I am currently getting into the mindset to do a 90-day Lion diet in 2025. It should not be too hard because I've already done a 30+, but gave myself some leeway for different foods during Thanksgiving and throughout the holidays. Not straying far from Lion, but have eaten some things not Lion. I found Lion freed my mind of all the food noise, and by letting some dairy back, I realized that it caused some issues. I'm eager to see what a 90-day stint will do for me. I hope that everyone is doing well. I come on here sporadically to read posts, but I had forgotten. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's just a repeat of the same thing. But congratulations, Carmen. I think that is absolutely awesome. And if you're wondering what is Lion diet is usually beef, salt, and water. And that's
it's actually ruminant animals, but really, here's what, if you're eating ruminant, when we say ruminant, whether it be a Lion diet or beef, butter, bacon, and egg, though things like venison and stuff are technically ruminant, my advice is your ruminant meat should primarily be beef or lamb.
Right.
Not venison stuff. Now, if you're a hunter and you have venison, that is great.
Add some fat.
The problem with eating a lot of venison and elk and things like that is extremely lean. And you need to have fat. So you got to make sure you're adding a bunch of fat in there. So if you're eating a Lion diet, or if you're eating beef, butter, bacon, and egg, look at it. Most of the ruminant meat you should be eating is beef and lamb, because they are fatty meats, and you want to eat fatty meats.
Now, we are going to be doing a triple B and E course beginning December 26th for 30 days. So if you're wanting to get started right, with the right foot into 2025, join us for that. That is still available for a sign up. I believe we probably have the link in the description for that.
Next one is from Sean.
Hey, Sean.
I wanted to highlight something that I'm extremely thankful for that I've been taking for granted. I left the house this morning with a slight urge to use the bathroom. I went up to the street to the gas station and got gas. I drove 35 miles, about 40 minutes to work. I made the quarter-mile walk from where I parked to my desk and dropped off my stuff. I then went to the bathroom. Before keto, I would have had to stop at a gas station along the way to work to use the bathroom because of urgency.
Yeah.
Before keto, during long road trips, I would have to stop to use the bathroom almost every hour. Sometimes I couldn't even make it an hour. Now I can go 3 more hours without having to use the bathroom.
That is so awesome. I remember Dr. Tony Hampton was sharing about his experience and how because of bathroom urgency, he almost missed his walk across the stage for graduation from medical school. This really is something that, we don't talk a lot about. We talk about like keto in terms of weight loss. We even talk about keto in terms of diabetes, but when it comes to irritable bowel and other like urgencies, not having to travel with a roll of toilet paper in your car or always being worried about when you get someplace that instead of just exit signs, you're looking for where's the bathroom and having to really, feel insecure about how quickly you can get to the bathroom. It is so nice to not have that situation anymore.
Yep. So Ragamuffin, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat.
Thank you.
She had a question, said, I still haven't figured out how to put my message in the super chat. My question is, can we use Keto Brainz on beef, butter, bacon, and egg? So beef, butter, and we'll talk about this in the course itself. But beef, butter, bacon, egg really is supposed to be just like beef or ruminant animals, butter, bacon, and eggs. You really should not be having any sweeteners because part of this is to eliminate anything that is possibly inflammatory, anything that causes you to binge, in eliminating all sweeteners. And that stuff is in Keto Brainz. With that being said, what I would do personally is I would do at least a week of beef, butter, bacon, and egg. No Keto Brainz, Rachel. Then maybe if you really are struggling with mental focus, which is where Keto Brainz help, maybe you want to try adding it in, but at least give yourself a week to make sure that doesn't cause inflammation or cause you problems, because it is an elimination diet to kind of reset your body, and then you would slowly add things back in to see, does anything cause me any kind of inflammation or problems or hives or whatever. So if you don't eliminate it, you kind of don't know. So I would start with eliminating, but that's something we'll get into in the course.
Sure.
Next one is from Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Sarah said, influence is the strongest from people who are most important to us. When we plug into community and form social connections, those connections have the greatest impact on our behaviors. Eating healthy is a behavior. So who are in your life has the greatest influence on you? Is it someone who supports your health journey? If not, it's definitely time to build a network who will. Just some food for thought. And that is, again, the whole purpose of our community. It's
awesome. And, this is a great time at Christmas when you're kind of, or through all of the holidays, that you're thinking about that target of friendships. There's this bullseye, and those are the people who are the closest. And then there are rings around that bullseye. And I like to take a friend inventory at the end of a year, beginning of a new year, and say, okay, who is on my target? Who are my target influences? And you know what? If there's been somebody this year who's been in like the bullseye, like you're always listening to them, you're following through with what they, what they say for you to do, and you think to yourself, that's what I've been doing, but I feel like I need to move them to the outer rings. I think that maybe it's time for them to still be in my life. I still love them, but maybe not, have more of a fence around our relationship. It's okay to move them out to other rings, as far as like how much influence they have in your life.
And it kind of leads into today's topic. It's like, and there's a couple more posts about it, but how do we deal with friends and family members that are anti-keto? And here's the thing is, like, as Rachel's talking about taking a friend inventory, or as Sarah's talking about, like, checking who has influence, that doesn't mean to eliminate those people out of your life.
Right.
But what it can mean is to eliminate their opinions on how you are eating. Sometimes it's going to take people years. It took my mom and my sister 7 years to really get what we're doing, that now they are eating more of a ketovore kind of lifestyle. But it takes people time. A lot of times it's they don't understand it. Even our doctors, there were many conversations on the cruise about doctors, and we had Dr. Lisa Wiederman joined us. And there's so many things behind the scenes that people don't understand when it comes to doctors, like insurance companies having like ratios of the number of patients that a doctor must put on to onto statins and stuff. And if they don't do it,
they don't get paid.
Then the insurance company says, we're not going to deal with you. You can no longer accept our insurance. So, and unfortunately, big pharma, big, food have a lot to say because of lobbying. We talk about how do we change government and stuff. For me, I think the number one thing is we should eliminate lobbying. Lobbying should be against the law in our government, because that's how these companies are controlling things. But the doctors don't understand because of what they've been taught. But as you just continue to live this lifestyle and have health improvement, that's where people start going, the bottom line is you're in control of your own health. And it's not really your doctor. You are in control of it. It's not really your friends. If your friends and your family members say you shouldn't be eating that, it's not their body. It's your body.
Yeah, and you're going to have to pay the price for future health. I think it's also really important for us as we go into this holiday season. Sometimes we can get really nervous about family interactions, friendship interactions. Like, you're spend 2 weeks dreading the holiday Christmas party because you're afraid of an interaction with a person. Please just take a deep breath and keep in mind, in 48 hours, this won't matter anymore. In 72 hours, like this will be over. Let's not give the whole month to what is really just a 4 or 5 hour holiday dinner and fret about it a long time, because in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, will it even matter? What we're worried about, like, we'll just be over, be done.
Next one we have is from Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
She said, I've had some Coke Zero over the weekend, but everything else was keto friendly. This morning, I woke up feeling a bit dehydrated, and I'd easily get a cramp in my calf if I moved the wrong way. A good reminder that getting enough water is essential. ETA. Later, I realized I also didn't get the electrolytes that I always put in my water, so that's another reason I felt off. I need to make sure I drink enough water when adding in other drinks. Usually, I only drink water, so it's not normally an issue. So a couple things here. Very unpopular opinion with some very dogmatic people. And it's funny because we joked on the cruise, I love Dustin, Keto Simple.
I think he just came in. Hey, Dustin.
But Dustin does his live streams on Sunday at 7 a.m. Dustin, can we move it back just a little bit? Okay. But yesterday, I had to run to Tractor Supply because we were trying to build a bigger coop, and we had all these things, and I had to be done by 12 o'clock so that we can go up to Orlando. And so I was in the car, and I'm listening to Dustin's live stream at like 8:45, and I'm like, finally, he's on a little bit later. But he was talking about dogmatic approach and people being welcome in community. And here in Two Crazy Ketos, everybody is welcome.
Yes.
Until you start beating up other people because you think your way is right.
Oh, then you're getting in trouble.
Then you're booted. Sorry. Right. That's who I'm going to boot. People who make other people feel bad about themselves.
Full mama bear.
So if you are keto, if you are ketovore, if you are carnivore, if you're eating the Lion diet, if you are eating vegetarian keto, heck, even as he said, if you are eating vegan, so long as you don't start being dogmatic saying vegan is better for your health and better for the environment, you are welcome. If you are eating vegan because you love animals and absolutely do not want to see an animal hurt or killed for food,
you totally get that.
You are welcome here until you get dogmatic that your way is the best and only way. Some people don't want keto sweeteners. Some people do want keto sweeteners. We are about community and improving our health. For me, the enemy is overly processed food, sugar, pasta, grains, wheat, all of that kind of stuff. That is the true enemy. So if you're eating a whole foods diet, I don't care what your whole foods diet is, anything is better than following big food and big pharma. But the thing is that I personally think that Coke Zero, not the greatest thing in the world, okay, because it does have artificial sweeteners and other things. But anybody who was on the cruise will attest to you that when Joe goes on a cruise, I drink an excessive amount of Coke Zero and other diet sodas, Sprite Zero, Diet Cream Soda. Diet sodas are keto friendly because there is no such thing as a keto food. Okay. Keto friendly means it will not kick you out of ketogenesis, which is your body producing ketones. Diet soda, though it's not the greatest thing and it's not super healthy, will not kick you out of ketogenesis. When it comes to the cramps, it's not a lack of water. Okay. People confuse dehydration with not drinking water. Water is not really the dehydration issue. It is the electrolytes. Don't drink a whole bunch of water without making sure you're consuming electrolytes, whether it be foods that have a lot of high electrolytes, like potassium, like eating avocados, which avocados have more, potassium than eating bananas. You need to eat high electrolyte foods, and there's not a lot of them on keto, and salt your food heavily. But if you're drinking a lot of water and don't doing that, that will dehydrate you and cause muscle cramps because you are diluting the electrolytes that are in your body. On keto, you need to make sure you are consuming enough sodium, potassium, and magnesium. And you'll see people say, oh, well, 500 milligrams of or 350 milligrams of potassium in a salty or whatever the number is, I don't remember it off the top of my head, is too much. My doctor said I can't have that much potassium. I would encourage you, go to your doctor, say, am I allowed to eat a banana? Am I allowed to eat an avocado? Because if they say yes, well, salty has less potassium than both of those things.
I like to think of electrolytes as a raft. They're the raft we need. And the water that you're consuming with them is what moves the raft. If you had a raft in a pool that had no water in it, the raft ain't going anywhere. The raft is not benefiting. You're not floating great. I mean, you're not moving. But I think that I always think of the water as just that's moving the raft in the right direction.
So something that we actually disclosed to some people on the cruise for the first time from, this was not well known. When COVID was a big thing, Rachel and I got really bad COVID. And we were really, really sick for about a month. We did not disclose that to people because of everything that was going on at the time.
Such a volatile time.
So much fear. It was right when vaccines were coming out and people felt that if you got COVID, that means you were anti-vaccine. And so we kept it quiet. We did Keto Beyond. We mustered all of our energy to do Keto Beyond the Couch and then pretty much couldn't get out of bed for the rest of the week. The only thing that we were able to consume was electrolytes. And I truly believe that that is what saved our life. I mean, Dr. Barry had talked to us about and saying, if you would have been the weight you were prior, you would have died. And we knew that. But we knew 30 people who got sick at the same time
and lost
that
their
we
lives.
did. And almost all of them lost their lives with the exception of us and one other person. Now, most of them were elderly, but they were all obese, heart problems, a lot of different things. The other person that did not die and really had an easier time with it was a good friend of ours that we were giving electrolytes to.
We got emergency electrolytes to her, and thankfully she and we made it out.
Yeah, so that's how much. Like, I think electrolytes are important, especially if you're on keto, because you need to have the electrolytes. So, whether you want to use Element, Redmond Relight, we love them all.
Yeah.
Salty is absolutely our favorite, but they're all great. People have asked us with the whole Element contract. We still consume Element. We have a big tote of Element. We still consume it. You know, but for me, if you're worried about the maltodextrin, I would say consume it only with a meal if you're worried about it spiking insulin.
I just want to say a great big thank you to Salty, who sponsored the cruise with giveaways of
The new
Salty,
flavors.
the new flavors. So I said, hey, we're going on a cruise. Would you guys like to give us some, you know, sample packets to put in all of the goodie bags? And they absolutely answered the call and didn't just give us the existing flavors, but gave us sample packets so that everybody that was on the cruise could try the new flavors. And I also want to thank Keto Brainz, who's not only sponsoring today's Keto Beyond the Couch, but they couldn't get me samples in time, so they provided all kinds of giveaways so that we could give them away as like prizes. And I thought it was really fun. We had individual challenges, and you could win one of those Keto Brainz mugs for the person who could stack the highest pizza stack. And Paul and Bob were the two winners. And I believe Paul had, it was like
32 slices.
32 slices of pizza where he ate the toppings, but that crust, he just discarded the crust and made a tower out of it.
Next one is from Teresa.
Hey, Teresa.
I was just watching some old 2KK videos on beef, butter, bacon, egg. I really enjoyed day 7 from 3 years ago. Bravo to Rachel, who mentioned Saul becoming Paul and the struggles he went through being accepted. I really appreciate you have followed through on your mission of accepting keto newbies where they are in their journey.
Thank you, Teresa, for that. You know, it's so interesting when the kids were little, and a new video game would come out. It was like, was it Call of Duty? I think it was the one that they really enjoyed and they played every year. But what they looked forward to the most was that December 25th evening when all of the newbies, the people who had never played this video game before, would get it for Christmas or get it for Hanukkah or get it for Kwanzaa, and then be able to play it for the first time because they were like easy targets. I'm going to annihilate these people. I am going to show them why every single space.
We're going to make them quit.
We're going to make them quit. We're going to show them where every space they're choosing is wrong. And you know what? As people in this keto space, you guys and we have the opportunity to receive people in January, February. That's when people decide I'm going to, you know, turn over a new leaf, and maybe my New Year's resolution is to eat differently. And maybe hopefully they select keto for whatever reason. We have the opportunity to pound them with why they're doing things wrong, or that they're, you know, I can't believe that you are eating meat and you're also still drinking Coke Zero. Like, I think that you should be ashamed of yourself. You have the opportunity to either help them decide, I need to quit keto because I don't like the mean people in this space, or, you know, it's hard to be a Christmas noob and play Call of Duty. Or you can decide, I am going to show these new people why they can love this new experience.
Thank you for taking away all of the joy that I had on beating up Christmas noobs, because I was one of those people. Myself and John Paul and Anthony, we would make it our mission to become master prestige before Christmas. As a matter of fact, if you know anything about video games, we would buy it on launch. This is when you would still buy video games at the store, and we would go at midnight and get it, and then 15 straight hours play it to get to master prestige, right? And that was, we look forward to it, like to the point where Rachel's mom is like, you're not going home to play video games, because by like 10 a.m., we're ready to go, right? We want to go beat up the Christmas noobs. And now you've just ruined that. I was such a mean person doing that. But here's the thing is, you're right. As new people come in, and it happens every January, into the keto carnivore space, you can beat them up or you can encourage them. When I got started on keto, there were not keto products, but I ate a lot of mug cakes and all that kind of stuff. You gradually get stricter. Let them have that on their own. And here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is going to be harsh. This may hit you really hard. If you choose to be dogmatic and beat up on somebody in the keto space who is eating maybe keto products that, you know, you would not eat, or drinking Coke Zero, or even consuming seed oils in the beginning because they don't understand that seed oil is not a keto thing, it's a health thing.
Right.
If you choose to beat them up and they quit, you could indirectly be responsible for them to go back to the standard American diet and die of some disease. I know that sounds harsh, but that's what's on the line. Yeah. Their health and longevity is on the line. We know for a fact that this can improve our health. And if we do something to make them go back to what was getting them sick, then we're responsible for that.
Well, you know, we've talked about things even in our marriage that there's sometimes you come to a point where you can be right or you can be loved. One of the two. And I think that it's a little bit different, you know, outside of, you know, a relationship like ours, when it comes to interacting with other people and new people, I can be right or I can choose to love. I can love them. And you know what? I have come to the conclusion that I want to use this platform to love people. I don't want anybody getting away, leaving one of our videos, leaving one of our live streams, and not feeling love from us to them. If we part ways and they think, well, Rachel, you're wrong because either you're too strict or not strict enough, I'm not going to follow your advice. I'm fine with that. But I don't want to let you go without you knowing that I love you, I care about you, and whatever choices that you're making in that plate, I care about you.
And again, we've had people message us, I'm quitting because you're too strict. I'm quitting because you're not strict enough. Now we feel, even though we are about community, part of our job is to educate, right? And so we will educate you. We will give you our thoughts on things, but it doesn't mean, but we're always going to do it in a loving way. Like I am going to tell you, hey, seed oils are, again, it's not a keto thing. You can consume seed oils and still be in ketosis and ketogenesis, but it's not good for your health. I will tell you, you should avoid any of the store-bought keto tortillas and breads because they're kind of fake foods that many times have more carbs, total carbs, than the wheat versions. And why do I say it? Because the wheat is bad. The gluten is bad. I think everybody should eat gluten-free because gluten is a toxin, okay? But we're going to lovingly educate you, but we're not going to bash you if you consume it. I'm just going to tell you this is what could happen if you consume it, but it's up to you to make that decision.
That's right.
Next one is from Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl.
My family gets so upset when I have a pizza stack. They are thinking we waste food. One restaurant came to our table and stated that they could make us a pizza without a crust, which we had before, and told them there was way too much sauce and not much meat and cheese. You know, I think it's interesting. And, you know, I'm sure people thought on the cruise that we were wasting food with the stack. But, you know, my thought is there was a lot of food waste. You're going to beat me up for not eating a crust, which could hurt me. But like now on a cruise, any food you don't eat, a lot of people don't know this. We actually got a tour of the galley and how things work. They actually turn it into pellets and then feed the fish food that doesn't get eaten. But to me, a lot of times it was wasted when we bought it. Do you know how many crops in the United States are literally where farmers are paid to grow them and then they just go to waste? Again, we found out that in this area, blueberries are a big thing, but we get to a point of the year where as they start importing from other countries, it is literally better for our local farmers to let those blueberries rot on the tree than to pick them because they can't pick them and sell them for the price that they are being imported from in other countries. I think about the amount of food that gets wasted. Rachel worked in Aldi. The amount of food that gets thrown out on a daily basis at grocery stores. So, I mean, I remember one time driving past a Krispy Kreme, and after a certain amount of time, they would have 55-gallon bags of donuts going in the dumpster because after a certain amount of time, they have to just get thrown out. Well, so I think that's... It's such a poor argument to say, well, not eating the bread on a pizza stack is a waste of food.
Well, I like to think of things. Remember, you know, food for us is fuel for our bodies, things that our bodies can utilize for sources of nutrition. tell me what is the nutritional value of a pizza crust? What is the
None.
what is the nutritional value of a donut? Now, if I make a steak, we can talk about the nutritional profile, the vitamins and nutrients that you get in eating meat. And then I can say, okay, well, if I still have a little bit of steak left or you've got some leftover bacon, I can see that it is right and reasonable to put that into a Ziploc bag or put that into my glass Tupperware and put that in the refrigerator and save it for later. But as far as a piece of bread, a donut, a piece of candy, that is totally just superfluous fluff food that really manifests in your body as inflammation anyway. So I think it's okay. For me, it's just a wrapper. I also throw away, the plastic wrapper that, a spoon and a fork from the restaurant comes in. I throw that out too. There's no nutritional value to me.
I mean, how many of us with our kids cut the crust off and threw it out with their sandwiches?
Were you like running after that crust going, waste?
I mean, here's when people, and I have had people say, well, you're wasting food. And my answer to them is, listen, we have two options. Either you can go eat on your own and I can go eat on my own, and I can be really picky about what you're going to serve me or what restaurant we go to, because I need to go someplace like I can only go to a barbecue place that sells meat by the pound where there is nothing else and I don't have to get the mashed potatoes, or I can eat with you and just choose to discard the sides that I can't eat. I am doing this to make you more comfortable so that we have a wider variety of places we can go to. On the cruise, we have two options. We can order the food the way it comes in main dining, where it's already been plated with the mashed potatoes on there, and then just push it to the side.
Right.
Or the kitchen absolutely will make me a plate of steak or chicken and not put any sides on there. But that's going to take an extra 15 or 20 minutes because they have to go down, and they are happy to do it.
Happy to do it.
But no, it's going to take longer. We were blessed, and this is one of the reasons why we continue to use Royal Caribbean for our group cruises, and I know why Debbie does it for low carb cruise. Give you an example. Our head waiter first night,
George,
found that we were all ordering French onion soup and asking for the bread to be taken out. That takes extra time. So the next two nights that they had French onion soup, George arranged with the kitchen and the head chef to have trays just for our section, for our 8 tables of French onion soup, where he never put the bread on it.
And just the cheese in it.
And then we didn't have to wait anymore. So it's up to you how you want to deal with people. But that's what I tell people. I'm doing this so that we have more places that we can go together and make you feel more comfortable.
Well, I think sometimes, if someone just feels so comfortable that they can just say, I don't like what you're doing, or look at you and be like, well, I just don't like that you picked a blue shirt, or I just don't like that I think it's tacky to have flowers in your hair, Rachel. How about we stop for a second and look at them? Like, maybe it's what you're saying right now is very rude to me.
Yeah.
Like, you're rude.
Yeah.
You're hurting my feelings. And just because you're pointing out something that you're dissatisfied, I'm still going to wear this tacky thing in my hair. So I'm sorry you feel that way. But I want to say to that person, do you think before you say something? I don't know why we've come to a point in our relationship where you just think you could say anything to me. And yet if there was a stranger that stepped in the elevator that was wearing these tacky flowers, you wouldn't say that to them. Maybe we're too close.
We always look at it like, if I invite you into the conversation and into my life, you can say something. If even with us, you go on a cruise with us, you go on a vacation, you will never hear us say, I can't believe you're eating that. Now, if you invite me into the situation,
what do you think of this,
and
Rachel?
say, hey, what do you think of this? Or I'm really struggling with X. This is what I'm eating, and I need some help. What do you think I should do differently? Now you've invited me in the situation,
That's
and I'll
different.
say, hey, you may not eat this. But until you invite somebody in the situation, I would just say, you know what? Let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
We have a couple more. Next one's from Jan.
Hey, Jan.
I fell off the carnivore wagon a year ago, but I did save both money and time when I was on it for over a year. Because last week we said carnivore is cheaper than the standard American diet,
Sure.
which I truly believe. I've lost over 20 pounds and I felt better.
Yeah.
I'm telling myself I'm going to start again after Christmas. Fingers crossed.
You know, and if you're carnivore, you could always, it doesn't have to be carnivore or standard American diet.
Any form of proper human diet.
Any form of proper human diet will suffice.
Yep.
And, you know, so maybe you're thinking, gosh, I don't want to miss out on stuff on the holidays. And if you're normally carnivore and want to do keto, I mean, you think what it is that I'm seeing Jan say that, and it makes me feel sad that she's identifying as I fell off the carnivore wagon. And it's like, oh my gracious, that's a really hard wagon to stay on.
Yes.
So don't feel like I fell off the wagon and I just am doing something so terrible. Like if you're just using whole ingredients and you're, you know, you've expanded what you eat from only meat to like meat and some vegetables, please don't identify yourself as somebody that's just completely let themselves go.
Yep. Next one is from Luann.
Hey, Luann.
I made my keto chow ahead of time, but the butter always separates. I give it a good mix before putting it in the freezer, but it separates again. Okay, so if you're making keto chow with melted butter, which I personally think is the best way because it's going to have less carbs and it enhances the flavor. If you're new to keto chow, heavy cream will make it thicker, but butter will enhance the flavor. You have to use warm water, okay? Because you have to, number one, you have to melt your butter. Then you need to use warm water because if you take your butter and then you warm that's melted and then you put it in cold water, that butter will solidify. So you have to use warm water. Though some people say they can do it with a blender bottle, I'm going to tell you the best solution is always to use some form of a blender, whether it be a Ninja, a Vitamix, a cheap blender, a stick blender, but you really, really want a good blend mix. And the reason is keto chow has something called gum acacia. Gum acacia actually acts as an emulsifier. It's kind of like mayonnaise, where this way the oil, the butter, and the water don't separate. The reason you can have mayonnaise is because you're using the egg yolk and you're emulsifying with the fat. But you have to do it. If you just pour the fat in there and use a blender, it won't work. It's got to be done with a certain technique, nice and slow. With keto chow, if you use a blender, that's going to ensure that emulsification. Now, sometimes if you have it sitting in the freezer, you will see layers separate, but that's the proteins yourself. And then you give it a good shake, but it won't be a butter thing.
Right.
Last one we have is from C. Ashby.
Hey, C.
I learned so much from both of you. Thank you for all of your tips and info, reviews, and recipes that you provide. Watching your progress in the country on your new property is fun and inspiring as well.
Well, thank you so much. As you're mentioning in the country, I can see over here on the side a couple of turkeys that are just like, hey, Mom, what are you doing? Like, because they can see us in the window.
Okay, let's get into some of these chats. Joanne said, I've always used my shaker bottle with keto chow. I'm going to have to try my stick blender. I find it works better, especially as keto chow began to use less gum acacia. You know, obviously the more of anything sometimes can help more. So I find it works a little bit better. Debbie said, please do a 2KK cruise in a month other than December. I want to go with y'all in December, but it's too busy with upcoming holidays. We're working on it.
Yeah.
So it's trying to balance everything because of money and everything else. So some of you may not know this, or maybe you're new to keto. So Autumn, our good friend Autumn, has announced that there will not be a Keto Palooza in 2025. And that is really the big get together that happens like the last week of September, first week of October. We want to try to find something to do probably like end of August, September. We could put together a 2KK cruise, but my only issue is I worry about hurricanes. Yes. So like in Florida, the biggest, and the Caribbean, so even if you're going out of Texas, the biggest hurricane season really is, even though it starts in like the end of June, beginning of July, it really doesn't pick up till like the end of August. And though you're safe cruising, they will always go around hurricanes and change ports and divert or give you an extra sea day. You always have this risk of it being delayed, either going out or coming back. There, especially in Florida and Texas, there's a lot of times where there's a hurricane and they have to delay 2 days, where great. You have 2 extra sea days where they stay out there. But if you've got a flight, all of that stuff. But we're going to try to do something. I will tell you this. We will never do a conference.
No.
I applaud people like Autumn
and Debbie
and other people who hold conferences because it's so much work. What I like about the cruises or just a regular meetup is there's no outlay of cash and trying to arrange speakers and flights and all that stuff for us. It's just everybody, here's what we're doing. Let's go do it.
Well, and I like, and Debbie, you've been on the cruise before. There's always the low carb cruise. That is always an opportunity for people to get together and cruise, and nobody does it better than Debbie Hubbs and the folks that are part of the low carb cruise. And hopefully we're going to get to see you, Debbie, on the Alaska cruise and others. We're really looking forward to that this year.
Juliana said, it is my birthday tomorrow.
Yay, let's sing. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Juliana. Happy birthday to you and many more. So many more, beautiful lady.
Joanna said, I dabbed into carnivore over the summer, got bored after a month, decided now I'm going back to keto. I love my rice, cauliflower, shrimp, and that's okay. I say all the time, if you want to be carnivore, that is great.
That's
I think
awesome.
Carnivore is awesome.
Yep.
I do say there has never been a society, a human society that has existed that was 100% carnivore.
There's a cat colony.
But that's not human.
That's right.
The closest would be like Inuit Eskimos. But even them ate berries or whatever they could find. They ate seaweed, kelp, things like that. Mostly meat, yes. We are omnicarnivores. You should be eating mostly meat, and then in season, locally grown vegetables, okay? But if you want to be carnivore, that is great. For me, it's not sustainable. Now, most of the time, we eat mostly meat. That we do. And the biggest reason we don't eat a lot of vegetables at home is because when we buy them, half the time we don't eat them, and then we throw them out. But if we go on a cruise, you will always see us. If we go out to eat, if we go to Texas Roadhouse, I'm eating salads, broccoli, things like that. So when I go out to eat, I eat it. But at home, I tend to not eat a lot of greens, not because I don't think it's good, but because I don't buy it.
And I just want to put it out there, whether you're carnivore or not, we were talking about, Call of Duty and basically, playing and you want to level up. Carnivore is not a master prestige. It is not a badge of coolness. It is not a badge of I am better than everybody else any more than keto is about. You're not leveling up from I am, eating the standard American diet and I need to level up in my personing in order to be of value, in order to be correct, in order to be precious. I should not have access to this community if I have not stair-stepped up, from standard American diet to paleo and keto and whole food keto and then carnivore and then Lion diet. That is not true. If somebody in your life is making you feel like you are less than, you're not tough enough, you are not cool enough, you can't fit into their awesomeness circle because you don't eat what the other people eat, I just want you to know there's a seat by me for you. Don't worry about fitting in whatever group wants to exclude another person based on any detail of life. You are welcome here. You have a friend in us, and you do not need to prove to me what you are eating or show me your plate in order to find acceptance.
Amy said, I'm having 2 to 3 servings of salty per day these days coming off migraine meds. Is it okay? I'm feeling great. Yep. Your body will tell you when you've had enough.
Sure. You'll know. You'll be like, blah, blah, too salty.
Wow. So this is, I'm going to put this up because I know it wasn't a reflection on Dr. Berry. I unsubscribed from Dr. Berry's channel the day after the election because of how some of the community treated some of the other people who were voted for the candidate that didn't win.
Oof.
This is why
politics, yo.
There is no politics in our community.
Nope.
If you make any kind of political reference in our community, this is not a censoring thing. I just want everybody to be clear. If you put up something and we've deleted it. It's not, we're censoring you. It's because it causes this. And again, for me, this is about community and health, and the politics other than big pharma, big food, FDA kind of stuff. That can be an issue that we can kind of politely discuss. But the second we get into politics, well, I don't like this particular candidate, or I don't like this person
No way.
who the president is nominated, that's where we can have an issue, because again, people's health is on the line. And because if you don't like who I voted, or I don't like who you voted, and you choose to leave a community and possibly go back to the standard American diet,
that'd break my heart.
Because I told you you voted wrong.
Oh my Lord.
We have an issue.
No, that is just, our priority is so clear. You know, it makes it real. We tell people, you know, have a mission statement for your life, you know, really pursue, like, what is your mission in life? What are the things that are important to you? This is a great time to have a vision board, start making for 2025. My mission is clear. We are all about facilitating community. And so since our mission is clear, the lesser things, like what is somebody's opinion on one little tidbit, or whether or not they're Lion diet or they're not, you know, all of that kind of stuff, it's easy for us to just let all that stuff go and say, hey, that's not going to be the thing that we put on a pedestal or even need to discuss, because that is really against the mission. The mission is community. So we're not going to set up hurdles and obstacles to make it harder to get to community. It's hard enough to get to community.
Yeah. Joanna said one reason for me this community is the best is because you're real. You too, Joe and Rachel, eat like me. I have erythritol, almond flour, sweetener, and I am not ashamed of it.
Well, and I eat a bunch. I really appreciate, you know, we ate at different tables every night of the cruise, and I didn't have one person that was mean to me because I was ordering multiple entrees, multiple appetizers. Like, I ate all of the good and delicious food I wanted to. I think it was the last night I was sitting and I had ordered mine and was satisfied. I was getting the salmon and I was getting a steak, and then lamb shanks came to the table for other people that I didn't see. And so as they're dropping off the thing, I kind of touched the waiter and I was like, can I have one of those too? Like, I will have what they're having. And I thought, how did I miss it? How did I miss even seeing it on the menu?
We were sitting at our table looking over it. I'm like, did Rachel get the lamb? Because it was really
so
good.
I did ultimately. So when everybody was starting to get, you know, their cheese plate or their dessert or whatever, I was still finishing off my lamb shank. And then Robin F was actually sitting next to me, and she had gotten one. It looked so delicious. And so this is a good friend. She leaned over and she said, you know, if you check that bone, there's marrow in that bone still. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you for not letting me miss that.
Trey said, I need to post the pic of the pizza on the buffet on our current ship.
Yes.
No one could make much of a crust tower because their toppings are massively genuine.
Wow. Yeah. Trish got like a second cruise. Her and Bob are on a cruise after it for just that reason. It's like, if I'm going to be coming all the way down from Western New York, I might as well have a double one.
Tony said, I'm trying to eat carnivore for a few days even when my doctor doesn't want me to. So far, so good. Blood glucose levels are much lower with my type 2 diabetes.
That's awesome, Tony.
Vicky and Ryan said, Ryan's doctor told him the diet soda was making him fat, aspartame, which that is possible. He cannot stop drinking it. We fight about the money he spends on gas station soda. So aspartame can cause a lot of bloating and things like that. You can look for some of the sodas that don't have aspartame. My suggestion, and it's worked very well for me, is Dr. Barry and Nisha's trick of especially if he's getting gas station soda, there's always seltzer available there, and you water it down. Start with maybe 75% soda, 25%, you won't even notice it, 25% seltzer. Then you go to 50-50 and you keep weaning it down, and it really does help. So where I don't drink nearly as much soda as I used to, except for when I go on a cruise, because I'm like, I paid for it, so I'm just going to drink an obscene amount of it.
Right.
And you know, it's nice. Nobody says a word because in our community, you know? So that's lovely. One of the things I love. Any more before we get off?
No, just that This was really nice this morning. I'm glad that we're home. I miss everybody so much from the cruise. That is something really special of knowing when I go on my morning walk, there are going to be people with me. And it was all just cheering us on, cheering each other on. I love that. So it was like, even there were some people who kind of challenged themselves to take the stairs as much as possible.
Yep.
And I loved it when I didn't feel pushed or pulled either way. When there was people going up the stairs and said, "Hey, I'm on a stair challenge. You want to walk up the stairs?" If we were together, I was like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yep.
And if there was people that were like, "You know what? I'm going all the way from level 3 to level 14. You want to take an elevator? Let's go."
There were quite a few times when we were on level 3, which is the conference room. And I was like, and why did I put us on deck 12?
And the Windjammer's on what, 15 at
16.
that time? I think it was 15.
No, 16.
It was high.
It's 16. Deck 16 on an Oasis class ship, but there's no 13. And the entire trip, I'm like, we're on 12, and I'm walking up to Windjammer, and I'm like, oh, 4 flights. And I was like, what? How did I miss that flight? And I forgot there's no deck 13 on
I will say there were some days that I really feel like a boss, because I would check my thing and it would be like the day is not even over, and it was like 35 flights of stairs have been climbed. And I was like, I am Wonder Woman. I think it is official. My Apple, my watch has.
Okay, so last one I wanted to address it. It said Becky and Ryan said doctor wanted to put Ryan on Wegovy. His insurance saved him by denying coverage for it. He has to have a stroke from fat before they will give it to him, which is ridiculous.
Right.
But I wanted to close with this, because the last couple of weeks we've talked about some of the stuff with all of the, ads you're seeing and these online companies that will sell you off-label kind of Ozempic, where they're being made by compound pharmacies. And I want to make it clear. Listen, my issue isn't so much with Wegovy and Ozempic, other than the fact that we don't know the long-term side effects from this.
We don't.
In itself, they are miracle drugs when used as originally intended for diabetes and stuff.
But we ain't using it for that no more.
But the weight loss stuff is ridiculously high doses, and we don't know the long-term effects. And I am so sick and tired of the FDA approving drugs because they've been influenced by drug companies to release them right away. And if we have a problem, if enough doctors say this is causing major things, then we'll take it off the market. Years ago, drugs could not come into the public's market until they had undergone extensive human testing. But now we are the testing. They're able to get past these things and say, you know what? Yes, this drug's been out for a while. Yes, and we've learned that giving 10 times the amount will help you lose weight. So instead of us testing that and seeing what the long-term side effects are, we can't wait 10 years because our patent only lasts for 4. We're going to release it, and if there's problems, we'll take it off the market later. But how many people have gotten injured? Remember Fen-Phen? I mean, those are the things that we have to think of. That's my problem with it. My thing is if you want to use it, please, please, please do it with your doctor. Is it going to cost you more money? Yes. But when you're going to an online pharmacy who has no vested interest in you, and there's no tracking of what they're giving you,
there's not even a building to go to protest,
and you don't have a doctor who is seeing you on a regular basis, I think we're setting ourselves up for trouble. That is my only thing. So if you want to use it, speak to your doctor and go the way that we really should be going.
Well, and if you are looking at testimonials of people, I think for me, I want to see somebody use this medication that they're suggesting is awesome and doing amazing things. I want to see them come off of that medicine, because surely that is not the plan, that we have lifelong medicine.
But they're saying you may have to be on it forever.
And then we see in, let's say, 2 years, 3 years, what does it look like on the other side? Because I can tell you, if you ask Anthony and Sarah, what's marriage like? They're in the honeymoon phase right now. Everything is awesome. Marriage is so easy. Marriage is amazing. I can't believe that mom and dad have ever gotten into an argument, right? Because they're in that new honeymoon phase when what they wanted is happening, right? This is what they were looking forward to. It's magical. But you come in and talk to somebody who's been married for a while, and they're going to tell you, yes, it may be completely good, and we highly recommend marriage. However, let me show you what are some of the bumps we've come into so that maybe you can avoid them. So when it comes to asking for recommendations or looking at people that are maybe utilizing this, let's see them. Yes, I look at people in the honeymoon phase of them using this medicine. And of course, they're super excited about it, right?
Yeah, they're losing weight.
But I also want to talk to people on the other side of it. Either they've stabilized and we're 2 years in and they're still experiencing okay symptoms, or maybe they got off of it and they can share with you some things that happen, and you decide for yourself if you would like to risk going through those side effects.
And again, so my issue is not with the medications.
No.
My issue is with what I consider these predatory companies that are telling you, we'll sell it to you privately for $100, fill out this medical questionnaire and we'll mail it to you. I consider these companies that are doing that no different than Nabisco. Actually, I think it's worse than like Nabisco going, everybody's eating keto, we're losing money, so we're going to make a keto-friendly Oreo, or whoever makes Oreos, cookie, and we're just going to label it keto. It's still going to have crappy ingredients that are going to cause inflammation and derail your progress, but we need to get that money.
Yeah.
That, I think it's no different. They're taking advantage of people who, I know, we've been there, who are desperate, who will do anything, and they're taking advantage of them.
Yeah.
And I think in the long run, time will tell. I think it's going to hurt people. And all I want is, please see a true medical professional, not a predatory company that's doing this.
A medical professional that's going to call and check on you to see like where you at.
Yep.
Did you come back?
Okay, that is the end of Keto Beyond the Couch. No, we went a couple minutes long, but again, we didn't have a live stream last week.
We missed you.
But this week, we will have a live stream on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, again, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have a bunch of videos. I know we've been slacking a little bit, but we've had a bunch of things going on. We will get some of these videos out. Please support the channel, like, share, subscribe, or buy us a cup of coffee. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at some of the videos we have over there. Also, make sure you take a look at the most recent video I'm going to put over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. If you're watching after the live stream, click the subscribe button.